to interview people in a 20-block radius and ask them what the significant landmark in the neighborhood was, I'll bet you most everybody would say Jesu. I love being in a place where creative thinking and innovative ideas are not only tolerated, in fact welcomed, maybe even encouraged a little bit, which is great. So there's a wonderful atmosphere that trickles down from the very top. I've been on the board for, I don't know how many years, I'm not good at that, 12, maybe 14, something like that. I think I'm secretary of the board. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm perfectly happy to do. Nobody ever had me scrub a floor yet. There's magic. It comes in, it goes out, it swirls around, it touches everybody. I often will bring somebody in and say, just spend the day with me at Jesu, or spend a little while. And when we leave the building, I always say, so you feel a little bit taller now, don't you? And they say, yeah, now that you mention it, I kind of do. I am a little bit taller having been here. They'd be hard-pressed to get rid of me. I did have a moment's panic a couple of weeks ago. I pressed the buzzer and said, may I come in, please? Nothing happened, and I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if I've been fired. I don't want to go. I miss it when I go away. I travel, but I always say to people, I cannot be away from home more than 2 weeks. I have 7 dogs, and they need me, and I miss those kids at Jesu. I've got to get back. No. 2 weeks is it. I'm back. I can't imagine my life without Jesu.
I am very happy to introduce Miss Pension to receive the Spirit of Metal Award because she is truly a phenomenal woman.
Kid. So if I sit down right now, Sister Ellen, can the dancers come back out? I'm tempted, but you know, I so infrequently get to have time at the microphone, I'm going to take advantage of it. Because not only do I want to thank many people, including the marvelous co-chairs and Julianne and the incredible development department, I want to thank my beloved table of family and friends right in front of me. That includes my BFF from college days who came from Florida, my niece who came from Florida, my cousins, new friends and old, and the person who introduced me many years ago to Jesu, and I never would have known about it were it not for Chris Beck. Thank you, love. Thank you. Also at that table is Brittany Smith, who is one of our first lifers. She came to Jesu the first year we had pre-K and went all the way through 8th grade. She's now going to nursing school at Thomas Jefferson. Another one of our fabulous grads. And Brittany and her mother, Sylvia, come back every summer and help me and Miss Weatherly's art camp. We paint fish and make a mess. Have a wonderful time. I'd also like to thank friends who are teachers and volunteers, and I'd like to take my 3 minutes, I think, to mention my neighbor, Paul Seligson, who many years ago, 7 I think, came and worked with Chris Harris. Thank you, Paul. He's a classroom volunteer, and I'm hoping maybe he will inspire you. I became a volunteer some years ago, and I've worn a lot of Jesu hats over the years. I'm a hat person. But my favorite hat, I think, is the one I put on at the beginning of every school year. I report to Sister Ellen, say, okay, where do you need me this year? What classroom could use somebody like me? And she gives me an assignment. Some years I give 2 days a week, some years I give 1. But over the years, I have been fortunate enough to work in 8 different classrooms for 8 incredible teachers who have opened the classrooms, opened the candy supply, One actually even gave me my most coveted possession, which is a key to the second floor ladies' room, my very own. Thank you, Peggy. But mostly they've opened their hearts. And I'm going to talk about them in just a minute. But what I'd like to tell you all is that I think you might have a good time if you came down and volunteered with us. We managed to have a lot of fun. We're there 5 days a week, 8 to 4:30. Except Fridays, we go home early. You can do lots of things. You can tie a lot of shoelaces, you can sharpen some pencils, you can grade some papers. And because Jesu is a non-selective school, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing, we open our doors to the 5 surrounding zip codes, which happen to be the poorest in Philadelphia. But we are non-selective, a wonderful, wonderful thing to be and do, but it does make for challenges in the classroom. We have about 25 kids in each class, and some classrooms have 1 teacher, and the range of abilities and achievements to date in those classrooms are very varied. So a volunteer is a marvelous asset to a teacher. You can take a couple of kids out into the hallway and bring them up to snuff, making change for dollars, telling time, helping with reading and math skills. You can also take a couple of kids out into the hall who are far advanced the rest of the classroom and give them some challenging material, which is a wonderful thing as well. So we have such good juju in the room tonight. I think if you came to school, you might find the same thing, and we would welcome you. We love volunteers, so if you were to be a volunteer, we would love you if we don't already, and we might. Now I would like to give a special shout out, because this just happens to be Teacher Appreciation Week, on top of being our gala. Teachers who over the years have been wonderful to me, and I'm going to ask them to stand as I say their name and remain standing. And at the end of the 8th name, I think maybe these nice people would give you a round of applause. I'm guessing. Okay, so the first is, I'm sorry to say, very ill. Kathy Asta, our kindergarten teacher, is not here tonight. So we'll just say her name and I will thank her. Sarah Weir, now a pre-K teacher. Sarah, would you stand, please? And why don't we wait till they're all standing and we'll give them a round of applause. And Peggy Moore, pre-K. And Erin Williamson, 1st grade. And Leah, 3rd grade. And Ms. Ryder, 2nd grade. Has Amy Brignola arrived? She has not? Well, I was with Amy for 4 years in her classroom. She taught at Jesu for 14 years. She's now teaching in South Philadelphia. Do I have Miss Hinton up yet? Okay. And Miss Hartzell, the art teacher? Is she there? Have I missed anybody? Because I am the person who finds the popovers in the oven the morning after Thanksgiving. No? All right. So how about we say thank you to them? And thank you to all of you and any of you who had anything to do with my receiving this medal. I think it's a huge award for an old lady who's tied a couple of shoelaces and sharpened a couple pencils. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jesu administrators and Jesu Gala Committee for giving me this opportunity to introduce Thomas A. Tad Decker. Because of men and women like tonight's honorees, when I was president during my 10 years of service at Jesu School, I was truly never worried about resources for our children. 20 years ago, early in the life of Jesus School as a Catholic school, independent of parochial support and independent of the support of the Archdiocese, Tad Decker visited the school, prompted by Joe Corr, Win Churchill, and Ralph Saul. And since then, Tad and his wife Candy have been friends of Jesus Children. And from the very beginning to this day, they take part in Sponsor a Child program. Tad's interests in Jesus include board support, board service, and enthusiastic support of our basketball teams. I have seen him, and Candy too, in the rooting section of basketball games that I have attended in recent years. Well, some of you know Tad. He has a great presence in the Philadelphia community, admired by the legal community, the political community. He thinks outside the box, and sometimes in a comedic way. Now, you can catch his comedic talent on YouTube. He took the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge in cooperation with Patrick O'Connor. And these two are the only courageous guys I know who took the challenge under the creative protection of umbrellas. It's wonderful. So thank you so much, Tad, for bringing your steadfast commitment and joyful spirit to the children of Jesus School, and also to all of us who so much appreciate your continual presence in the Jesus School community. And now, a video presentation highlighting our honoree.
I grew up in Philadelphia, right, up in the Northeast, but I think I learned a lot about the city by being here. And actually, even coming to the basketball games, learned a lot more about, different parts of different neighborhoods, and what kids have to go through, which is very different than kids growing up in the suburbs or even, frankly, in the Northeast. I think this is an opportunity for kids, no matter what's going on in their neighborhood, what's going on around them at home or any other place. When people come in here, they know it's safe. They know it's comfortable. They know that people here really care about them. The personal nature and approach that the teachers, Sister Ellen and Brian Carter, take, where every child is important and every child is kind of treated on his or her own basis. That's I would hate to see that change. I don't care what kind of bad day you're having on your own. When you come to this school and see the spirit of the place and how the kids react and the teachers and the administrators, it's a really great warm feeling that you see the accomplishment, the hope, the spirit. It's a very unique place. This is a beacon of education, in my view, an opportunity for kids to move on, to do well, learn, and move on with their lives, and learn about the basics of life, in addition to the educational part, the schooling part. I'm on a bunch of other boards, and they're all great in their own way, fantastic. But what you get out of this